So today the aim is to learn about achieving sustainable weight loss. So we are here to help people achieve their health goals by delivering personalized health plans driven by their data or virtually through our dashboard system. A few months ago, we had a customer who came to us and they were perimenopausal, really struggling with weight loss. And they tried everything. They didn't like working out and they liked food too much, which is what one would think normally is not great for weight loss. But what this customer found working with us was that by receiving a personalized plan that really was focused around their habits and what they enjoyed doing, they were able to slowly incorporate more workouts, run more, and tailor what they were eating. Sometimes it was just a portion, sometimes it was incorporating more foods. And they found that they were able to lose 3 kilos across 2 months in a very sustainable way, and they continued to do that. I also personally think that the highlight of the story was that the person now enjoys working out and they enjoy eating healthier. Today as well, presenting alongside myself is Sabine, who is our exercise scientist, and Anna, who is our dietitian and custodian. I will just hand this over to my colleague, Anna.
Thank you for the warm welcome, Bea. Hi, everyone. This is Anna. I'm the dietitian and health custodian here at Uniquely Health, and I would like to get us started on this topic of the science of weight management, starting with a very interesting poll question for you. That basically the question we have is, what percentage do you think currently in the UK of between men and women are obese or overweight? We have 50-50 for men and women, 60% of women and 70% of men, or C, 50% of women and 40% of men. Okay, so most of you, 80%, have chosen option B, which is the correct answer. So these numbers increase every few years or so, but generally almost 7 in 10 men and 6 out of 10 women are currently overweight or obese in the UK. And a quarter of generally all adults are obese, unfortunately, in the UK overall. And what we are here to talk about today on today's menu, we have 3 key areas and 3 key messages we want to put across. First of all, the importance of understanding what your body composition means is super important before anyone makes any decisions about losing weight, specifically losing weight and keeping it off. A personalized, data-driven nutrition approach is key for that particular goal, so weight loss maintenance, and also incorporating an exercise plan that is tailored to you, to individual needs, alongside a diet control plan are also key together in achieving that sustainable weight loss. Before we go into the sustainable weight loss, I want us to have a bit of an overview of what overweight and obesity is and how can we know that someone is at that level. And basically the official term, the official term of what overweight or obesity means is that any abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that presents a risk to health is considered for someone to be overweight or obese. Because obesity has many health implications. It was recently, not very long time ago, declared as a disease by the National Health Institute of Health, and that was 1998. And more recently by the American Obesity Society in 2008. And that's because of its involvement in different health conditions such as metabolic, cardiovascular, respiratory, and more, as we will talk and will touch later on. You all must have heard and be aware that we have a very simple tool that is also used in clinical settings, and that is the BMI. BMI takes into consideration your weight and height, and we can have different levels, as you can see on the right side of your screen. There are different levels of BMI, and according to that number, Someone can be classified either as underweight, normal, overweight, or obese. Where the health risks might occur is with the BMI over 25, so that is becoming overweight or moving on to obesity above 30. But on its own, unfortunately, sometimes BMI is not a good indicator of health. So combined with another easy measurement, that is your waist circumference, both are better indicators of the total body fat, which is associated with health risks. So they combined, and as you see in that right-hand corner, it gives us a better understanding of health risk when it comes to becoming overweight. And you can see there is increased or a high risk with the BMI over 25, but also waist circumference that is above 88 centimeters for women and above 102 for men. These are the healthy cutoffs for the waist circumference as well. What I would like to make a point from all of that is that body composition is there for key, not only just your BMI, your weight, your waist circumference, but the body composition is very key when it comes to assessing health risks with becoming overweight or obese, because we have also the individuals that might have exactly the same BMI, but we have these individuals that are called metabolically healthy obese. So these are the people that have most of their fat, excess fat, accumulated in their around their vital organs, such as their liver. And these people have better cardiorespiratory fitness, general physical activity, insulin sensitivity, compared to the other people with high BMIs that are metabolically unhealthy, because these people have most of their fat accumulated centrally, so around their waist, around their vital organs. So these are some important key points to consider here. Why we need this information and how we use them at Uniquely Health. Here at Uniquely Health, we have different practical measures that are also used in clinical practice to be able to assess if someone is either overweight or obese and protect their health. And there are 4 key areas that are widely recognized to do that, to achieve that. And we incorporate those with our dashboard. And we can do that such as looking at your body composition, so simply taking into account your BMI, also the regional fat distribution, and we're trying to educate how to take your own measurement of your waist circumference and hip circumference. The third key area is the energy intake, and we have the ability to log your day in, day out food and fluid consumption with our dashboard, and energy expenditure. So this is about using your physical activity levels and heart rate as information to estimate how your body responds to exercise and how your metabolism works. And as you see on the right hand side, we can simply see all this data via our dashboard features, where you can sync your wearables, for example, and view the different nutrition, physical activity components, such as your heart rate, BMI, your calorie, energy intake, and expenditure. And also you have the ability to add your foods there, track your eating. So this is like an online food diary, track your steps and different exercises that you might do on a daily or a weekly basis. And these last 2 features are soon to launch in our app, so the food log and activity tracking, and we're very excited for that. Going back to the science bits and why it's important to target weight loss, especially in overweight or obesity, is because different factors can contribute to someone's weight gain, either modifiable or non-modifiable, and they can be linked with health risks. So, for example, factors that contribute to weight gain are the energy expenditure, so a positive energy balance, so eating more and expending less energy. So this is the excess energy storage in the form of body fat. Genetics play a role. This is not so widespread in the general population. There is a small percentage of people that have inherited conditions such as the Prader-Willi syndrome. This is a rare syndrome, for example, that predisposes people to gaining weight because of their genes. Environmental features that can lead to weight gain are things such as limited access to healthy fresh foods, the different advertisements that make us choose our foods and our food behaviors, movement facilities, food portions, smoking, alcohol, and even certain medication such as antidepressants, anti-seizure, and more can lead to weight gain. The age and our gender also can play a role in weight gain. Generally, You might know that body fat tends to increase with age because of the decrease in muscle mass, as Sabine will talk more later on, and whereas total energy expenditure and energy requirements decrease with age, as well as physical activity. There's also an element of hormones, especially if in some conditions, if there is hormonal imbalance, such as in an underactive thyroid, polycystic ovaries, or Cushing syndrome, another condition. If there is hormonal imbalance, that can have a knock-on effect on weight gain as well. And last but not least, stress and sleep are two important daily factors that can make us more predisposed to gaining weight, and that is because, for example, sleep deprivation leads to disruptions on our circadian rhythm, and also hormonal fluctuations such as cortisol that can be activated in conditions of chronic stress, and that hormone rises and creates an environment that becomes very difficult for weight loss, even if we try hard sometimes, as it stimulates fat storage and promotes weight gain. So to break the talk, I would like to introduce us to a second poll. And the question for that poll is, at what age group do you feel are most people currently overweight and obese in England? B and C, 80% said 45 to 54, and 60% 35 and 44. I would say you're pretty much in by 80%. There is 3 correct answers, so C, D, and E. So obesity incidence generally starts increasing in one's 20s, but people that are between 45 to 74 are more likely to be overweight or obese. And among those people, we can see, if we look at their features, people that are more overweight or obese in these categories are these that are more deprived, maybe disabled, and they tend to have higher percentages for both overweight or obesity in that age. But for all of us, as we naturally get older, and why that age is where most people get overweight or obese, is because our metabolism tends to slow down about 1 to 2% per decade, especially after 30s and 40s, and that indicates that it might be harder for us to lose weight. So this decrease comes with age, as I mentioned a bit earlier, and it's mainly due to the natural reduction of our muscle mass combined with being less active. So the important key message here that Sabine will specify more on later, it's just saying that it's super important to encourage generally physical activity across all age groups, not just for the younger ones. I want us to talk a little about achieving sustainable weight loss and what that is. So first of all, what is sustainable weight loss? If we look at this example graph and we say we have 2 people on a 12-week program that they joined for weight loss, the first person chooses to follow a sustainable or gradual weight loss plan, and that is in blue, marked in blue. And the second person chooses to follow a rapid weight loss plan, such as a crash diet, for example, going for a month on, I don't know, a special diet they choose. The first person in blue will have a smoother weight loss trajectory with that sustainable effort, but the second person will, with the rapid option, as with most people on crash diets, chances are that their weight will fluctuate more. And at the end, what we most likely see is that they will regain some of that weight, if not all of the initial weight that they lost. And why is that important? Because we're not talking just about any weight loss, but we're here to talk about sustainable weight loss. You might be wondering, what does that really mean and why it's important to me? So generally speaking, losing weight too quickly is not what we advocate here at Uniquely Health, because it's not sustainable and it can have a knock-on effect on your health sometimes. So it's really important to aim on sustainable weight loss, and that is an initial gradual weight loss of between around 0.5 to 1 kilo a week. And that also sustainable weight loss means a total decrease of at least 5% of your baseline weight. And dropping between 5 to 10% of your baseline weight can confer significant health benefits. This is why it's important to lose weight slowly. And successful maintenance of that weight loss means that one loses around 10% of their body weight, and they're able to keep it off for at least a year after. And that's mostly among obese or overweight individuals, so people that have a lot of excess weight to lose. And I want us to I would like to introduce you to Sabine, who's gonna take the lead now.
Thank you so much, Anna. Hi everyone, I'm Sabine and I'm the exercise scientist here at Uniquely Health. So I just want to first begin by addressing some of the reasons why actually losing weight might be important to people from a health perspective. So just to be clear, this is relevant to people who are regarded as overweight or have a high visceral fat rating. So the visceral fat is the fat that we store around our vital organs. So generally you want your visceral fat to be as low as possible. Would also like to stress, as Anna has already talked about, it's not all about the numbers on the scale. It's really important to kind of know a little bit more about your body composition before you make a decision about whether you're going to lose weight or not. So muscle mass is a really important indicator. Visceral fat is also an important indicator. So it's good that we try to build up the bigger picture around our body composition before we decide to lose weight. But some of the main benefits of sustainable weight loss are improvements to your lipid profile, which is traditionally recognised as things like cholesterol and triglycerides. So actually losing weight can help you to reduce your cholesterol and triglyceride levels. It can also help you to reduce your blood pressure as well. So interestingly, a higher body weight is generally associated with a higher blood pressure. So actually what happens when you lose weight is your blood pressure can become more managed and more well controlled. Now, the combination of reducing your blood pressure and reducing your cholesterol levels can actually reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, as well as cardiac events such as heart attacks and strokes as well. So it's really important to get these your weight into the ideal ranges, generally speaking. Weight loss can also help you to improve your blood glucose control as well. So this is really important for people who have diabetes, but it's also important in non-diabetic populations as well. So just healthy populations of people, because if you have lots of high and low spikes of blood glucose, it can actually lead to quite a lot of inflammation in our body, which isn't very good for us. And finally, losing weight can generally help people feel better about themselves, sometimes as a result of feeling like they have more energy and feeling like they're able to move better. But sometimes it can be related with the exercise that people do that helps to release endorphins. So I'm now going to hand over again to Anna, who's going to talk a little bit more about incorporating food and fitness into our routines to help with sustainable weight loss. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you, Sabine. I would like to talk about what we can do and what the evidence states about effective weight loss strategies when weight loss maintenance actually strategies. And these are the results actually of a very big review study, 67 individual studies that showed that there are some very specific diet and exercise behavior related determinants that have a strong level of evidence association for effective weight loss maintenance. And these lie in three main areas, and that is the energy intake behavior components. So, for example, cutting down on unhealthy foods has been shown to be a very strong determinant. Another is portion control, a decrease in our total daily energy intake, an increase in our fruit and vegetable intake, and a decrease in sugary drink consumption. And the second main key area is also energy expenditure. So that is basically moving more, incorporating more physical activity. And the last but not least is monitoring behavior for both diet, for both energy intake and energy expenditure, so dietary factors and physical activity. So it's basically when you're tracking, monitoring your weight and maintaining and monitoring your eating habits, as I mentioned earlier, is also very important to bring the balance in those two for weight loss maintenance strategies. We have also some other factors, some other determinants on the right light blue box there that have also been linked with as effective strategies for weight loss maintenance, but with the moderate level of evidence. So these are things like our gender, our age, our socioeconomic status, weight history, physical activity at start, where someone starts eating out, psychological stress, and some others. But these are not the main determinants for weight loss maintenance. The main point I want to make from this study, moving on to the next slide, is that from the dietary perspective, from nutrition perspective, The 4 key messages here are: it's very important for weight loss maintenance to cut down if someone consumes, for example, very highly processed, refined, ready meals and snacks, and these are the foods that are rich in saturated fats, added sugars and preservatives. Monitoring your food portion and learning by speaking to a specialist dietitian, for example, learning what is the right portion for you, the right food portion size for you, and what your daily needs are to manage that, to see what your portion is very important, and how we can learn to do smart swaps, so smart changes to help you achieve the ideal portion size for you, is also useful for sustainable weight loss. And one of the last is increasing your fruit and vegetable intake. And of course, that might sound quite obvious, but generally these foods are full of fiber, rich antioxidants, so we have the protective health benefit because of these nutrients, but also they are all low in calories and energy, lower energy density as we call it, so we can eat more of those, and if we aim to eat a good combination of different colors of fruit and vegetables, and between 5 to 10 portions a day every day is very important for weight loss maintenance. And last but not least, the liquid sugars. So these are, if we have people, for example, and we see in overweight obesity populations, there's a high consumption of added sugar drinks, such as soft drinks, alcoholic drinks, energy drinks. So it's important to identify, for example, by speaking to a specialist dietitian, reading the labels, learning to pick smartly and swap these drinks to no added sugar alternatives, because generally our daily sugar intake should not exceed 30 grams, and these translates to 7 sugar cubes. If we think, for example, in practice, what that might mean for a drink, and if we have a regular Coca-Cola, for example, this just one can of that can give us 9 cubes, so more than 30 grams of sugar. So it means we've exceeded already our daily sugar intake. So it's important to state here that our food and fitness plans incorporate all those recommendations and strategies, among others, in your bespoke individual plans to facilitate weight loss maintenance longer term. And I'm going to pass over again to Sabine.
Thanks, Anna. So I'm now going to approach things from the slightly more exercise perspective. So significant weight loss is defined as a reduction of about 5 to 10% of your total overall body weight. If you do want to lose weight, it's actually advised not to just rely on exercise alone as a method to lose weight. The current exercise guidelines are to do about 150 minutes of exercise per week, but studies have shown that if you were just to do this and rely on this to lose weight, you're probably not going to achieve it. And if you do, it's probably not going to be sustainable. Combined with a calorie restriction or nutritional changes, you're much more likely to succeed at weight loss. If you did want to achieve weight loss alone through exercise alone, without kind of changing your dietary habits, you're looking at needing about 225 to 420 minutes per week of exercise, which is quite a lot, and it's kind of double the actual physical guidelines for activity at the moment. Going on to the next slide there. Now going to talk about kind of the benefits of exercising and diet restriction that can lead to weight loss overall, and how this can affect your health. So as discussed earlier, exercise has a number of benefits to the cardiovascular system that include management of blood pressure. Blood pressure is generally actually reduced just post-exercise. So once you finish an exercise session or workout, your blood pressure will reduce for a short-term period afterwards. But the more regular exercise you get, the more long-term this change becomes. So exercise, and particularly resistance training or weight training, so anything where we're using our body weight or using physical weights to train with, has actually been shown to improve your body composition as well. So increasing your lean muscle mass is one of the effects of resistance training. Now, muscle mass is really, really important to us because it's actually more metabolically active than fat mass is. fat mass is, which means that at rest you'll burn more calories if you've got a higher muscle mass than someone who has a lower muscle mass. So this is actually a really, really key part of when we talk about weight loss maintenance and sustainable weight loss. Actually having a good quality body composition, such as high muscle mass and a relatively low body fat percentage, is really important for kind of keeping the calories, keep burning through the calories at rest. Weight loss is much more likely to be achieved with exercise. So in a meta-analysis of 29 long-term weight loss studies, more than half of the weight loss more than half of weight that was lost was regained within about 2 years. And within 5 years, more than 80% of people regained all of that weight that they'd lost. So this can actually be reduced massively by exercising as part of your weight loss plan. So it's really important that the two go hand in hand, and that you don't just rely on calorie restriction and you don't just rely on exercise to lose weight in the first place. And how we can help in terms of what Uniquely can do for you. Our aim is to design you a program that's completely bespoke to you, and helping you to achieve your fitness goals. And whether that's weight loss or a number of other things, myself and Anna will put together the plan that's going to be most appropriate to you in supporting those goals. So just going on to the next slide, I'm now going to talk a little bit more about how to know when you're burning fat, which is a common question asked around exercise for people. So unfortunately, and much to people's disbelief, you can't actually choose particular areas to burn fat from. So I couldn't turn around and say I wanted to lose fat around my tummy and go and do 50 sit-ups and drop fat from around that area. Fat mass as a whole is indicative across our whole body, so you can't just focus on particular areas, but there are lots of things that we can do. So during exercise, we burn through different energy sources. So at high intensities of exercise, so when you're really, really pushing yourself and you're kind of working at that 9 out of 10 sort of intensity, you're probably going to be burning through carbohydrates as an energy source. When you're at your lower intensities, which classically on an Apple Watch, if anyone has an Apple Watch, is around zone 2, roughly at about 60 to 65% of your max heart rate, this is where you're going to be burning most of your fat. So at Uniquely Health, we're here to help you understand a little bit more about your particular zones that you might have on your watches, and where it's going to be most effective or most efficient for you to train at to optimally burn your fat. With this in mind, it's also really important to stress that resistance training is equally important as part of our exercise. So cardio is great, but it's also important to get a variety of exercise, and incorporating resistance training so that we can build up your muscle mass is all part of the process as well. So again, at Uniquely, what we'll do is we'll look at your current training intensity and see what you currently do for exercise, and set you onto a path of achieving your fitness or your health goals. We'll work out what training zones it's going to be most effective for you to work at, and then each time you work out, what will happen is you'll be able to upload your workout onto your Uniquely Health dashboard. And then the clinicians, so myself and Anna, will be having a look at your progress and your training sessions that you've been doing. And there'll be loads of opportunities where you can talk to us about whether that intensity feels right for you, and plenty of opportunity to modify the training intensity as we go forward. So Anna, I'm now going to hand back to you.
Thank you, Sabine. That's lots of learnings so far. And I would like to make a very final point here for what I said earlier about individualized approaches, and that no one size fits all when it comes to weight loss maintenance and diet, but exercise as well. What we know here at Uniquely Health from the evidence and what we said already is how important personalized strategies are, and that no one size fits all when it comes to losing weight or achieving weight loss long term. And what we know already from the research that is working is that cutting down on calories or energy or exercising might not just be enough for sustained weight loss, but focusing, for example, on eating high quality unprocessed foods, low in refined carbohydrates and sugar, and also focusing on what you can include rather than what you can exclude from your diet. So have a wholesome nutrition with a variety of foods is key for weight loss maintenance strategy and weight loss in general. But I would like just to bring you and get us thinking about what the future might hold here. By that I mean that there are some novel studies ongoing now, or a few that are already out with evidence that there might be other factors, other variables that are non-diet related or exercise related, and that are unique to individuals that might enhance longer-term weight loss success. By that I mean that personalized nutrition, of course, is the future, and there's a few strategies, hope for new strategies that will come up, but there's not enough evidence so that we are able to incorporate them in practice, in our daily practice. But here at Uniquely Health, we take into account all the research and future directions that will hopefully lead and get us discover more ways to help you incorporate new strategies that are evidence-based. And I believe we will have to wait and see what the future brings for that. Over to you, Sabine.
Thanks, Anna. So just to finish and summarise some of the take-home messages from today's presentation, overall, it's really important that to remember that there's no one-size-fits-all approach for weight loss. Here, we're here to understand and support your goals and find out the best combination of both nutrition and exercise to support you with your weight loss goals. As we've already mentioned as well, it's really important to tackle weight loss by combining exercise with dietary approaches if we want it to be sustainable for the long term as well, to help with that weight loss management. Another way that people can often succeed with weight loss is by setting small achievable goals and monitor or track them against these goals to kind of remain accountable. And a lot of people of our customers so far have found that it's really useful to be able to report back to one of the clinicians, and actually you become part of the process together. The team approach we take at Uniquely can be used to give you your personalised meal plan as well as your fitness programme. And then you'll have the one-to-one consultations to support you with any questions you might have and give you education on aligning you to achieve your goals. And remember, weight loss maintenance can become easier with time. So if you've managed 2.5 years of keeping the weight off, then you're much less likely to put the weight back on if you've managed to keep it off for that time. So you can increase this continues to increase the longer you keep off the extra weight. So thank you so much. I will now hand over to Bea.
Thank you both Sabine and Anna for this insight on sustainable weight loss. I am definitely more educated and aware, and so it's good to know there's a combined approach. I would love to talk to you guys how Uniquely Health can help. So as you can see on the screen, at Uniquely Health, we provide and work alongside with you based on your data, and we deliver 12-week programs that consider diet and exercise. And now we know why it's important to do that. So you can have that accountability person to help you achieve your goals. We also have a dashboard that allows you to sync your data and for the clinicians to see that, so they can look at many factors like your heart rate variability, your resting heart rate, your heart rate zones, which really gives them that personalized insight into you to tailor and tweak and make sure the program's working for you, so you're not sweating for no point. And you also get a custodian that works alongside you to help schedule appointments, to be there. And our team is very, as you can hopefully see from this webinar, they really do care about helping you achieve your goals and tailoring them to you. Okay, so we have a lovely question from Jade, who said, how do I overcome weight loss plateaus? Sabine, Anna, would one of you like to take this one? I feel like there'll probably be a take on exercise and diet on this.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question, something I personally have heard quite a lot when I see people coming for weight loss advice, and they seem to start off, and as it naturally worked with any weight loss attempts, everyone seems to lose weight in the beginning, and then maybe at some point they plateau for a significant maybe amount of time. So for example, most people lose quite drastically within the first 2 weeks some weight, and then as the body is trying to adjust to the change and keep the metabolism running, we can see that weight loss plateau. But people, that's the time, so within the first month that people see the plateau and they kind of are being put off because they think that the diet is not working anymore. But actually people that are more patient in waiting a bit more they can see that after that there is again a gradual weight loss suddenly that can happen in the next day, as long as you're persistent with some dietary modifications and specifically sticking to the positive habits you incorporate. It is more than definite that you will continue seeing some weight loss. But this is part of the overall, looking at the overall picture. So your starting point and the goal, the end goal you have with weight. There's also going to be ups and downs, and there's never a linear process when it comes to diet, because there's these other various factors that can affect and add onto that weight loss trajectory, whether that's the environment, the stress, physical health, mental health, even social occasions, other people around you, lots and lots of different things. We know that exercise, I think, plays a key part in that. And I think Sabine will have something to add with regards to how exercise can make some weight loss efforts seem harder because of the different body composition elements we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. I feel like you've answered the question really well there already, but just to add a couple of things, like Anna was just saying, that patience along that weight loss plateau is really important. So giving your body time to adjust, because these things do take, they are long term. Like we've already touched on, weight loss shouldn't be a short-term fix, but it is something that you have to work on. If you spent the best part of your life being significantly overweight or completely different weight area to the one that you're trying to get to, it's not all going to happen overnight. So kind of giving it time to allow your body to adjust. If it is plateauing for a long period of time, I think it's an opportunity to reevaluate things as well and find out if there's perhaps a change in the calories that we need to make, or perhaps a change in your training. So you may look at changing the type of exercise training that you're doing, so looking at a bit more high intensity interval training. You might look at kind of building up your resistance training more, kind of targeting really into that boosting your muscle mass development to help boost your metabolism, and there's lots of ways in general that we can tackle kind of those plateaus. But again, it's a team approach, so we're here to understand kind of what has been difficult for you so far and what the strategy has been up to that point, and then we can readopt a new strategy going forward from there.
Thank you both for that. Great. Okay, we've had another question, which is, what advice do you have for someone who is looking to do some zone 2 training but who has low levels of free time to do it? So if we go back, if I just go back here on the zone 2 training, Sabine, I feel like this is your question.
It's an age old, and it's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. I think zone 2 training actually gives you a really good opportunity to build that into your daily routine, because it's not where you have to go out and get really, really sweaty like you would for your sort of zone 4, zone 5 training intensities. I think building this into like a daily commute or something could be an option actually. So say you're going out for a walk or you're commuting, you could just get off the if you're catching transport or taking the car, could you build that journey slightly further away from your destination, and build in a walk so that you're pushing your heart rate up to about the 60% level, but you're not kind of working flat out. I also think it's really important to make these things enjoyable, so you don't have to do them every day. It's zone 2 training is, if you're kind of serious about taking this on, it's twice a week would be optimal, really. And you can use the weekends. I know that time is often one of the biggest hinders for people who are wanting to get into more exercise but feel like they don't have the opportunity to do it because they're short of time. So I think it's really about building those habits around things that you love doing, and if you do like to get out for walks, trying to build one of those weekend walks that you might do into your actual cardio training is probably a really good way to do it. I know that some people like to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone as well. So you might find that you have to do something for work where you have to listen to a podcast, and could you actually do that podcast whilst doing your zone 2 training? That's another option. Anna is a prime example of managing to get her steps in while she does a lot of her meetings. So she's got a walking desk actually that she does a lot of her meetings from, which is definitely leading by example for all of us. So there's plenty of ways, but I think it's just about finding the most optimal one for you that works into your daily routine.
Thank you, Sabine. Thank you for your time, and Sabine and Anna for your insights into sustainable weight loss. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely day.